Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be able to welcome you to the first ever Neuromatch Academy. We're so happy you're here. We're really looking forward to spending the next few weeks sharing powerful and exciting techniques in computational neuroscience with you and helping you meet your peers and other scientists who are also interested in computational neuroscience all around the world. So hopefully you can learn some great things and make some good friends along the way. So before we really get going, I should probably introduce myself. My name is Megan Peters, and I am one of the co-founders and co-organizers of Neuromatch Academy. I'm also an assistant professor of cognitive sciences at the University of California, Irvine, which is just outside Los Angeles. And in my research, I study perception and metacognition and consciousness in humans using computational modeling and machine learning and neuroimaging techniques. And when I am not thinking about brains and computations, I also like gardening and science fiction and travel and karaoke. But most of the time, I like thinking about brains and computations. So now that I've introduced myself, we can get right on with welcoming you all very warmly to Neuromatch Academy. As a participant in this program, you are now part of a global community of over 8,000 neuroscientists from around the world, who are all interested in learning how to build and apply computational models of all sorts to your research in school and in your professional careers. And the Neuromatch Academy community includes students and postdoctoral researchers and faculty at institutions around the globe and industry professionals who all have this one thing in common, that we love computational neuroscience. And over the next 3 weeks, we're going to take quite a journey together. But don't let our size fool you. Neuromatch Academy is actually really young. So we only decided to launch this program only a few months ago, back in April. We've been working like crazy to make it a success for you all. So the catalyst for this program was firstly that COVID-19 is canceling computational neuroscience summer schools around the country and around the world. But we also recognized very keenly, very strongly, that these summer schools are really expensive. And this means they're really exclusive. And so they're inaccessible by a lot of students, both geographically and economically. And we really wanted to do something to fix that. So we're really, really happy that you're here to help us with that goal. So over the next 3 weeks, you're going to get kind of an intense experience. If you're on the interactive track, you're going to have tutorials, you're going to have access to the forums, you're going to have one-on-one mentorship, you're going to have professional development opportunities. You're going to go through the whole program for the next few weeks with a TA in little pods of students, little groups of students. And I'll tell you a little bit more about your pod in a few slides. But you should all be able to see who your TA is now in your student portal. And so if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and log in and be able to see that online. And you're also going to do small group projects where you can apply the techniques and concepts that you're learning to a real data set, which is outside the ones that we're going to use in the tutorials. So this allows you to kind of ask and answer your own real questions about neuroscience data. Okay, so that's the interactive track. If you're on the observer track, you're also going to get some cool things. So you're also going to get all the tutorials and the forum access, which is really a ton of stuff. Unfortunately, we cannot give you access to the live instructor, the TAs who are supported by the interactive students in part, and you won't be able to do the small group projects with support from the TAs or mentors. But we hope that you're going to have a fantastic experience nonetheless, and really use those forums to work with each other too, even if it ends up being at your own pace. So either way, whether you're an observer or you're on the interactive track, the next few weeks are going to be pretty intense. So you're going to basically go from 0 to lightning speed in just 3 short weeks. This is really a crash course in just about all of the cool computational neuroscience and modeling techniques that you could ever want or need. And we hope that you are as excited as we are to share them with you. Okay, so before we launch into the program really and what to expect, we just want to give you a little bit of background about who we are here at Neuromatch Academy, but also who all of you guys are, because having you all here is really exciting, and we hope that you're very thrilled about the community that you're joining as well. So first, the organizers. So who are we? The founders and the board of directors are Gunnar, Sean, Conrad, me, Paul, and Brad. And our executive committee is also made up of faculty and postdocs from around the world. So we're all faculty, and then these are faculty and postdocs from around the world. And I'm going to stop reading names here because this is really just the tip of the iceberg. The organizers team is actually enormously huge. They're fearless, they're so energetic. And without them, we truly would not have this exciting program to share with you. So hopefully you're going to get to know a lot of these people over the next 3 weeks. These are the guys who made the tutorials, who wrote the code, who are making this a success. And so if you run into one of these people in the forums, in the online discussions, when they pop into a tutorial pod here and there, just know that these are the people who are the rock stars. They're the ones who are really building this from the ground up, and you are all getting a great program because of their dedication and their talents. So, all told, there are about 180 of us working behind the scenes, backstage, to bring you this program. And so it's really an understatement to say we're really excited to share all of this with you. So that's not all. That's backstage, but what really makes Neuromatch Academy is not us. It's you guys. And so there are about 1,700 of you in the interactive track. You come from more than 60 countries. That's like the size of a university all by itself. You speak over 10 languages. We've got over 50 language pods around the world where you can meet and discuss neuroscience with other students in one of 13 different languages. And you 1,700 or so interactive students, you're going to go through this program with about 190 teaching assistants who also come from around the world. They also speak a lot of different languages. And then you're also going to be matched for mentorship and the group project guidance with some of our over 200 faculty and industry mentors. So they can give you advice on science, on your group projects, on your careers, all of that good stuff. And then, of course, we can't forget about the over 6,000 observer students. And this is actually probably an understatement at this point, an underestimation. So all of our observer students, you're following along at your own pace. You're talking to each other in the forums. And we're really happy to have you here too. And we hope that you're just as excited as we are. Okay. So now that you know a little bit of who we are and a little bit of who you all are, we want to take a moment to say what we expect from you guys over the next 3 weeks and to talk about what makes a good Neuromatch Academy student experience for you. So here's Grace to tell us a little more about that.
Hi, I'm Grace Lindsay. I'm a postdoc at University College London, and I'm here to talk to you about what we expect from you, the students, and how you can be a good NMA participant. Now, most of what I'm going to talk about is going to be specific to the interactive track, but the message on this slide is for everyone, and that is that Neuromatch Academy is new. It's not just new to you, it's also new to us as the organizers. And while we've put in a lot of work to make it a productive and enjoyable experience for everyone, it definitely depends on you to determine how much you get out of it. So the basics, show up, which if you're watching this video, then you already have for today, and that's great. We will be offering certificates of completion for students who do attend the course regularly and also participate in their group projects. The next point is to show up on time. So that's both at the start of the day when you're joining your pod and then also when returning from any breaks. And this is because we have a very jam-packed schedule and we want to make sure that your pod doesn't fall behind on the schedule. And so it's really to respect your time, your fellow students' time, the time of the TA, that you make sure that you're showing up on time. And showing up on time means showing up prepared as well. So there will be introductory videos that give you an overview of the topic for each day that you need to watch before the school starts. So you watch that on your own time, make sure that you show up having watched that, and just generally being ready to engage. So have your coffee, have your breakfast, whatever you need to do to make you alert and ready to participate in the school. Now, we also want you to show up as part of the team. So that's part of the team of your pod of fellow students, but also part of the organizational team of NMA. Again, this is new. It's the first time we're offering this. We would love to hear your feedback to let us know what we can do better both this time around and also for any version of this that we offer in the future. So do think of this as a team effort. So now to get into this idea of being an interactive student, that is the track that you're on, but we don't take that word lightly. When we say that you're an interactive student, we really do want you to interact with your fellow students and with the school. And that's for the benefit of you, so that you can get the most possible out of this experience. And it's also for the benefit of your fellow students and your TA and the teachers and the mentors and everyone who's putting their time into this. We would love to see feedback from you and see you be interactive. So specifically, what does it mean to be interactive? It means ask questions throughout the tutorials, because if you're confused about something, it's very possible that someone else in your group is also confused. And so it's great if you ask that question. It also means to work in groups. Now, during the group project time, of course, you're going to have to work in groups, and it's going to be really beneficial if you learn to do that effectively, because you're probably going to have many different ideas of all the questions you want to pursue with your project and all the analyses you want to try out, and you'll get a lot more done if you can work effectively as a group. You can also be working as a group during your normal tutorial hours with the fellow members of your pods, and part of that means teaching one another. So the different students from that are participating in NMA come from many different backgrounds. Some are more quantitative, have more coding experience. Some people come more from biology and neuroscience. And that's really beneficial, because it means that maybe one day there's a student that's confused about something that's really obvious to you because of your background, and you can explain it to them. And the next day you'll be confused about something that they can explain to you. So you should definitely be teaching each other. It's a really effective way to learn and to test your knowledge, to make sure that, that you can explain it to someone else as well. And just generally talk to your peers. So the people that you meet in your pod and more broadly who are also participating in NMA, these are the people who will be the future of the field of computational neuroscience. So it's really beneficial and interesting for you to get to know them. So just take an interest in the people around you and what they're doing and what they're interested in, and just talk to each other. Sorry. I just want to make a quick note about communication. So as I said, kind of people who are participating in NMA come from very diverse backgrounds, both in terms of the subjects that they've been educated in, but also, of course, language and nationality and cultural backgrounds as well. And that's a really fun part of NMA, how diverse and global it is. But it also can make communication challenging when people are trying to communicate from different backgrounds. So, and this is especially true over video chat. So I just want to remind you guys to be mindful of how you address people. Please try to pronounce names correctly and use pronouns that people give. Also, don't be afraid to ask someone to repeat themselves if you couldn't understand them. That's perfectly fine. Just do so respectfully. We also have the benefit in Zoom of using the chat box. So if you're having trouble hearing someone or understanding someone when they're speaking, or you're having trouble getting your point across through speaking, you can use the chat box when you want to. Generally try not to interrupt. Give people their chance to speak, and you'll have your chance to speak in return. Another thing about communication and the overall interactivity in the pod is that we would like you to, as much as possible, keep your video on, because it's really important for feeling interactive and feeling like we're all in the same room. So do keep that on as much as you can, but do remember to mute your microphone when you're not speaking, so there isn't interference or background noise that makes it hard for other people to hear. And overall, just be respectful. And the easiest way to do that is to follow the golden rule, which just means treat other people like you would like to be treated. Also help one another. We're all in this together, so teaching other people, helping people if they're having technical difficulties, anything like that, anything that furthers the group as a whole is good for you, it's good for everyone. And don't be competitive. This is not the type of course where you're being graded against your peers. It's really quite the opposite, because you will need to work as a group, especially on your projects. So don't feel like you're, succeeding if you're finishing something faster than the person next to you or something like that. It's all about your own journey of learning. And in general, try to accept feedback as calmly as possible. This could be feedback about a scientific idea you're talking about. It could be feedback about how you're communicating. But just in general, let's try to assume that everyone has good intentions when they're interacting, and let's not be defensive against people's points. A lot of the basic ideas that I'm talking about have been codified in our code of conduct. And this should have been sent to you. It's also been included in a lot of the materials and links that we've given you. But just to be sure that everyone has seen this, the main points are to be inclusive, to be considerate, to be respectful, choose your words carefully, don't harass, and make differences into strengths. And if you feel that you've witnessed or experienced a violation of this code of conduct, we have a code of conduct violation reporting form that again has been linked to in many of the materials that we've given you. And so you should definitely feel free to fill that out. It can be anonymous, and it is treated in confidence amongst the organizers of NMA. So finally, perhaps the easiest part, something we think you're all very capable of, is be curious and have fun. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Grace. So now that you know what we expect from you all, here is what you can expect from us and from Neuromatch Academy. Okay, so our goal in building this program is really threefold. First, of course, there's the science. So in this course, you're going to learn about modeling and how it is used in computational neuroscience, what it buys us, what we get from it, but also how to do it right with state-of-the-art techniques with really hands-on approaches. And you're going to learn how to choose, to select, and to actually use, with those hands-on tutorials, some of the most powerful techniques that are out there right now. So this means you're going to get your hands dirty with the code. You're going to get to see it applied to real data sets. So that's the science bit. But of course, we also want to understand and capitalize on the importance and power of small group education and individualized attention. And so this is why we're keeping the student to TA ratio around 10 to 1. And this means that you can get individualized attention from your TA if you're in the interactive track. In your pods, where you're going to have 2 or 3 TAs per about 20 students. So you're going to have your TA pod, which is you and about 10 others with 1 TA. And then you'll have like paired pods, 2 or 3 other pods that you kind of hang out with and go through the program together. And so in the interactive track, you're also going to get individualized mentoring, as I said, from faculty and industry professionals around the world. So that's more individualized attention, more learning in small groups. And then in the interactive and observer tracks, in both of them, we hope that you're going to have the opportunity to meet like-minded peers, make lifelong friends through talking with each other in the forums, both in your local time zone and also hopefully worldwide. And so what this means is that Neuromatch Academy is really aiming to provide not only access to excellent computational neuroscience education and training, but also networking and community building opportunities. And we're trying to do this for all of you, for every student worldwide, regardless of your location or your financial means. So that's the philosophy. But what are we going to actually do over the next 3 weeks? So I wanted to tell you a little bit about our really exciting schedule that we have lined up for you. This is 3 weeks of packed tutorials and hands-on education. And then we also have professional development on the weekends, like data management and scientific communication and professional networking opportunities. And then we've also got these group project presentations that we're going to do to wrap up the program. So in week 1, we're going to start with an introduction to computational neuroscience and to Neuromatch Academy. On day 2, we're going to talk about what models buy us, what we can get out of them, what their power is. And then we're going to launch right into model fitting, a little bit of machine learning and decoding, some dimensionality reduction and manifolds. So that's week 1. Then we have some professional development and socials, of course. Can't forget the socials. And then on week 2, we have some stuff on Bayesian ideal observers and Bayes' rule. We have 2 days on time series analysis on linear systems and decision making. On the 4th day of the 2nd week, we have optimal control. And then on Friday, we have reinforcement learning. Then we have another weekend of professional development and social activities. And then on week 3, we talk about real neurons. We talk about what happens in dynamic networks. We talk about causality. And then we spend 2 days on deep learning, GLMs, and so on. And so remember that this is a global community. So this 3-week program that you're all going through, we've actually spent a lot of time figuring out the schedule and timing so everybody can do stuff live and in person with your pod without having to get up in the middle of the night. So this means that you are all grouped into 3 time zone groupings, Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. And your zone group is available in your student portal. And so this means that your whole pod is going to be in one of these zones. So in each of these time zone groups, your day is going to look something like this. So in the morning, many of you are going to get up and work on your group projects kind of right away, once they've kicked off, of course. And then you're going to have a block of tutorials, a nice break for lunch, another block of tutorials, and then you're done. And so this is what we're calling track A within this particular time zone. But you also have two other options. So if you're in track B, you might wake up a little bit later, do only a couple hours of project work here before you launch into the tutorials, break, more tutorials, and then you round out the day with a little bit more project work at the end of the day. Or you could possibly be in track C, which means the first thing you do in the morning is the tutorials, break, more tutorials, and then you do all of your project work towards the afternoon. And so you're only going to be in one of these tracks, and it's based on your actual time zone and preferences that you put in your profile. So make sure to check your student portal so you know which of those time zone groupings you are in. Okay, so what this all means is that we have done our absolute best to optimize the program exactly for you, time zone wise. So you're going to get to be part of this small group of students who work on group projects together inside a pod of students, 10 of you per one TA, and then you're going to have some buddy or paired pods. So you've got a cohort of about 20 to 40 students with 2 to 4 TAs all together, all going through the program at the same time. And so this is what we're going to call your local little network within Neuromatch Academy. But remember, there are actually hundreds and hundreds of you worldwide, all in your own pods and doing your own group projects. So this means that you're all a big Neuromatch Academy family. And you're all part of this giant community, and you're all going through the 3-week cycle, essentially with the sun on whatever side of the planet you happen to be on. So even though you're part of this broader community, your pod is actually very special beyond just matching you to your time zone. So you're using the Neuromatch algorithm, which was first developed by TittyPat and then refined by Patrick for use with Neuromatch Academy. We've now essentially solved an NP-hard problem through heuristics. So the result is that you've been carefully matched up, not just with your broad time zone, but other students in your general time zone region who want to be in track A, B, C together with you, and who also have the same language requirements as you. And so this means that we are paying attention also to your group projects, your data set choices, and so on. And so your pod is going to have a diverse background across coding and math and neuroscience, which is really exciting. This means you can form strong connections and build strong collaborations, playing off each other's strengths and interests. And of course, we're also going to match you with those mentors for your group projects, faculty and industry professionals who have relevant interests and expertise, and so on. And so this is kind of like a science dating app. Only we're using it to form you guys into those pods where you all get to benefit from each other in the best way possible. So this is the big picture. Ultimately, what we hope that you all are going to get out of Neuromatch Academy is both a lot of really useful knowledge and skills in computational neuroscience, but also a worldwide computational neuroscience community. So we hope that you're going to go back out into the world after Neuromatch Academy. You're going to go back out to your wider and your typical community that you have in your local region, your university or school or company. And you're going to share what you've learned here, not just about the science, but about the global community of like-minded scientists and the network that we're building. And hopefully this is a network that is promoting excellent computational neuroscience skills, but that also builds a worldwide scientific community that values diversity and inclusion and cooperation across computational neuroscience and science in general. So that's it for the welcome. Thank you so much again for being here with us, for being part of Neuromatch Academy. Tomorrow's lectures are already posted, so please feel free to go ahead and watch the intro video at your own pace before tomorrow, and we cannot wait to get started with you. Cheers.